in these lessons, and we hope it actually puts you on the path to start to learn PLCs, and this will be your first step. With PLCs, there's many steps to the top of the mountain, but as you chisel away day by day, step by step, you will become a master of PLCs. And we hope you enjoy this series. I hope you learned something new. Today is only a very short lesson, and what we discussed today is lesson 1.1, just the PLC history, the programmable logic controller, and how did this happen? A different approach was needed by the Americans in the automotive industry, and this created the path to design a PLC. They wanted higher output speeds, quicker fault finding on the production lines, easier modifications to their lines when needed. During that period, about all of the control circuits was consisting of relay logics, and a lot of people actually call it clickety-clack panels, because that was the sound that all of these relays were doing. In 1968, Bill Stone from the Hydromatic Division of General Motors issued a brief which outlined the difficulties he was facing in his factory, and he requested a new approach to these challenges. The GM engineers then all came together and they did draft a design criteria for a standard machine controller. Now, this brief was issued to 4 companies, and they were: 1. Allen Bradley. At that stage, they were called Michigan-Based Information Instruments Incorporated. Digital Equipment Corporation, DEC. And thirdly, Century Detroit. And then we had Bedford Associates. Now, Bedford Associates came with a solution to the challenges during 1968. They designed a PLC which they called Morricone 84, which was basically programmed with ladder logics as we do today. Now, Richard E. Dick Morley is considered as the father of the PLC. The Morricone 84 development is mainly contributed to his efforts in this project. Now, Morricone was incorporated the October 24th, 1968. The year later, General Motors placed an order worth $1 million for these PLCs during 1969. General Electrical then also followed with their order for another $1 million, and the ball started to roll. The word Morricone is an abbreviation for the following, and it consists of Mo, D, and Con. Mo stands for modular, D for digital, and CON for controller. Now, interesting enough, the word 84 was the project number done by the Bedford Associates. Eventually, the original company called Bedford Associates dissolved to avoid tax issues when a Morricone project started to accelerate. Morricone was eventually sold in 1977 to the company called Gold Electronics, and today it's owned by Schneider Electric. Now, interesting is that Dick Morley started his business in his garage as a young engineer. During 1970, Allen Bradley released their bulletin 1774 PLC. It was their second attempt at producing a motion controller. And for the first time, the term PLC was used. The honors for the word PLC that we all use today was contributed by Allen Bradley. The name Odo Struger is worth mentioning. He accelerated the development of the Allen Bradley systems. But the PLC of those times was still prone to failure. It was a new product, and one can appreciate that certain bugs were still present in this PLC. And it did have its own limitation. It needed controlled cooling with huge filters to keep the air clean. And these were mainly installed in huge control rooms. The PLC was built also with a focus on the automotive industry and their needs. But this was the start of a new revolution. The technology expanded rapidly until 1980, when a lot of new features became available with newer and faster computers. And these PLCs benefited from those advantages. During 1970s, a huge control programmer terminals were used to actually program these PLCs. But with new and faster PLCs, we started off with PC software. New and faster programming and execution times was developed, which resulted in more advanced features. From 1980 until today, huge quantum improvements were made, and several role players that sells and support PLC equipment today can be found at very competitive prices. Now, during this period, for example, Hitachi also developed their own equipment, their own PLC equipment, for their own factories to gain the competitive advances needed. Now, later, these units were made commercially available to everybody. Now, unfortunately, we will have to test your knowledge, and we will have to make sure that you understand these concepts. And this is just a quick test to understand that you actually grasp the concepts. Now, this is the test questions. Please select the correct options. Only one option is the correct one, except where it is indicated that more than one selection is possible. The pass mark will be the correct selection of at least 4 questions. So you have to have 4 correct before you can proceed with the next video. The first question is, who is generally considered to be the father of the PLC? A. Nelson Mandela. B. Richard E. Dick Morley. C. Edison discovered the principles. D. General Motors initiated the development. And E is Alan Bradley. So you have to select A, B, C, D, or E. Please take a piece of paper and write down 1 with the correct selection. Now 2, which company started to use the abbreviation PLC first? And please select A, B, C, D, or E. A. Richard E. Dick Morley. B. Alan Bradley. C. Digital Equipment Corporation, what we know as DEC. D. Bedford Associates. Or E. Was it General Motors? Please select the right answer to this question as A, B, C, D, or E to question 2. Now the third question is, first PLC was called A DEC, B. Alan Bradley, C. Modular 84, D. Morricone 84, or E. Programmer. What was the first PLC called? Please select your correct. Please select the correct option. Now, the first PLC was invented during which year? 1967, 1821, 1969, 1980, and none of the above. Please select your correct option. Now the final one is the first company that installed PLC equipment was, is it A, Gold Electronics, B, General Motors, C, General Electric, D, Allen Bradley, or is it E, none of the above? Okay, we will now verify the answers. To ensure that you are correct. Now, who is generally considered to be the father of the PLC? The correct answer is Richard E. Dick Morley. Now, which company started to use the abbreviation PLC first? That was Allen Bradley. The first PLC was called a Modicon 084, and you will recall that Modicon is actually three terms called Modular Digital Controller. The first PLC was invented during which year? It's none of the above. It was 1968. The first company that installed PLC equipment, they actually issued an order of $1 million, and that was General Motors, the automotive industry. Thanks guys for watching this video. I hope I see you in lesson 2, and I hope you have passed this course. It is quite easy. I'm not trying to be tricky. I'm just trying to get you the basics across and my experience and my skills to help you understand and to motivate you that PLC programming is not impossible. It can be done by any person that have the ability and the will to succeed and to learn more. And in this life, it's all about learning to make yourself presented to your next employer and to present yourself as a person that can add value and that you can actually use PLC equipment, even if it's in the interest of the company only to do fault finding, but to give you the concepts behind PLCs. Thanks a lot for watching this mere video. Thanks.